Yeah. So today we will discuss about test case design section. What is test case design section and why do we use it? What is there inside it? So let me first open it in a new window. So right click and then say open a new window and dock this window over here. Usually test case design section consists of test sheets and classes. Okay, so you can right click on this test case design section first. And first, please check out. Okay, after checking out, you can right click on it. First, create a folder. Okay, so first I am creating a folder for our demo web shop. And in this demo web shop folder, again right click on it and see, then you can see one icon, create test sheet, and this is create class. We will discuss about classes later. First we will discuss about the test sheet. Okay, so the first one is the test sheet. This test sheet is nothing but this is much similar to your Excel sheet. Okay, so this is my test sheet. And now, if you right click on your test sheet, you can see another icon, this red color one, which is called as attribute. And another icon that is eye-shaped one, which is called as instance. What are these attributes? What are these instance? Why do we go for test sheets and all? I know these questions might be running in your mind. So, first suppose take a scenario, take a test case. Okay, so what I do is I am coming back over here, checking out this demo web shop folder, and what I do now is I'm creating a test case. Okay, so I'll create a test case, and the name of the test case is validate user login. Okay, so in a test case, what are the folders that I need to maintain for our test steps? Precondition, workflow or the process, validation, and the final one is post condition. Now, in this test case, what goes into precondition? Can you hear me?
Open the URL of web shop site.
Okay, so open demo web shop. Reusable can be dragged and dropped inside it, right? In the same way, what goes into validate user login? Do we have any reusable tester block for the login? See, add close demo web shop logout we have. No, let us create one for that. So first right click on your library, create one reusable tester block called login demo web shop. And the first step is click on the login button. So drag and drop that particular module. Rename this test step as click on login and here give a click. The next step is to enter the login details. So this is where is that actually, yeah. So drag this module, drop it on here, and now should we hard code the things here or should we parameterize them?
We should parameterize.
So right click and create one container and then I am renaming this step. All together right click, set as action mode, change the data types to string, and now first let me go here. This module name is actually not correct. Let me do one thing. I'm just renaming everything. Okay, so coming back, first we have set the action mode. So now select all these controls, drag them and drop them on the business parameters. So all the business parameters are created and mapped. So this is your login reusable test block. So just drag this and drop it in the workflow test step folder. So login is also ready. The next step is to validate the login. Whatever you have logged in, you should be able to validate it. And before you go over there, what I am going to take in as part of this test case is whatever user ID and whatever password I'm using to logging in, I'm just saving them into some buffers because whenever I want to validate, I can quickly say verify whether this email ID is the same as the one that I have entered using through login. So I'm validating in such way. So now what is that I need to do here? I want to buffer it. As soon as I pass it, I want to buffer it. So what is that I need to do in this step?
You need to actually keep the cardinality 0 to n, and
For email, it should be 0 to n. Same way for the password, it should be 0 to n. And here we can set the action mode to buffer and buffer them into a variable called email. And here it can be buffered into password. Okay. So now let's create another reusable block which will help us to validate the login, whatever you have logged into. So just drag your top menu module and drop it over here. And now in the email part, where do you get your email ID? In the top menu, in the email, which property actually contains the email ID? Inner text. Am I correct?
yes,
So, what should I do here? Go to this property drop down and inner text is equals to buffer of email and close both the braces and just give it as verify. Did you understand what I am doing here? Any questions? Any doubts?
Ramya, can you please repeat last but one email buffer?
Hello?
Ramya, can you please repeat last but one email part?
Okay. See, after logging in, I want to check whether whatever login I used, whatever email and the password that I used to log in are the same that is getting displayed in the top menu area or not. So what I did while logging in itself, I started buffering those details. So whatever account I'm using to log in will be saved into the buffers called email and password. And whenever I want to verify, where do I get that email ID? In the inner text property of this control. So that is the reason I just took the inner text and I'm verifying whether it is equal to buffer of email or not. Did you get my point now?
Yes, yes, Ramya.
Okay. So now let me just drag this and drop this in the validation. The last step is to log out from the demo web shop. So drag this again and drop it in the post condition. And finally, close the browser. So this is the one, close demo web shop. Okay, is my test case correct?
Yes, Ramya.
Okay, now if you see here, some reusable blocks need some values to be passed via business parameters, whereas some reusable tested blocks does not require anything. In one interview, they asked me like, how do the reusable tested blocks look like if they want business parameters and if they don't have business parameters. If they have business parameters and when you keep them in the test cases, they look something like this. You cannot see the test steps inside them. All you can see is business parameters, names and all. If they don't have any business parameters, only then you can see the test steps inside them. Okay, please remember the difference. And now you need to pass different data to these business parameters. Am I correct? You need to pass one URL information. You need to pass email ID, password, and what is that you need to click on among these. Remember me, forgot password, and login. So all these details are to be passed by you. Am I correct?
Yes, Ramya.
Last time we directly passed our values over here. If you see this, validate the new user registration RTB test case that we have created last time. I am just expanding it. We passed all our data directly here. But now what I want to do is, I don't want to pass it over here. I want to pass it via Excel sheets or test sheets. So what I do, I go to test case design sheet and create the attributes and instances for that. So before we go till there, another important thing that I want to say is, now in order to validate the user login, how many test cases can I write? If I ask you to write test cases for the user login test scenario, how many test cases can you tell me?
Uh, it it can be a number of test cases, Ramya. Like
We can
you
have
can,
positive and negative scenarios also,
yeah,
right? So giving valid username, valid password, and then testing the success, this particular validation. Sometimes it can be giving invalid data and checking the error messages. Even these are also part of the user login test scenario only. Am I correct?
yes, Ramya.
So what happens in Tosca is, don't work hard by creating all those test cases separately, is what it says. So what we do here is, whenever, okay, let us do in this way. Let me open Paint. So for suppose, in your normal happy path test case, the first step is to open that particular URL. Second step is to log in, right? Third step is to validate whether you correctly logged in or not. And then click on logout and then close the browser. These are our test steps now. Am I correct?
Yes, Ramya.
So if you take, this is for the valid one. If now let us say invalid email, invalid password, or else, yeah, let us take this invalid email, invalid password. So what are the test steps for that test case? Please tell me. For that
Yeah,
also, open the URL is common and we should try
yes,
to log in,
yes,
and then we will get an error message here. We will not, we should validate that particular error message. We will not be able to log out. This is not there. And then we will be closing the browser. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
For suppose you gave invalid email, valid email and invalid password. The same way, open URL, try logging in, verify the error message, no logout because we don't log in at all, close the browser. For suppose you gave both the details as wrong, again the same steps repeat. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
If it is invalid email, if it is invalid password, or both the details are invalid, or if you are not passing anything, if you are passing just empty values, still for all your test cases, the test steps are the common. Might be the data that you are passing is what is varying. So, if I ask you, tell me how much percentage of the test steps are common between the success one and the error one. So can somebody tell me the percentage here? Like among this one and this one, if you compare these two, how many test steps are common? 3 test steps are common. 2 are what is varying. Am I correct?
Yes, Ramya.
So out of 5, if 3 are common, can I say it like almost 70% as common? 60 to
Yes.
70%?
Yes.
So whenever you have this type of scenarios, where the data that you are passing to these test cases is varying and the main structure is also like 60 to 70% common, then instead of test case, we will create a test case template. There comes the concept of template. So what is this template? Why do we need it? Means template is nothing but the structure, or you can say it as the skeleton, okay, which will decide how the test case should look like. To this template, you need to add a data source. What is this data source? Data source is the one which passes the data to the business parameters and all which are present inside the template. So this data source can be of any type again. Forget about it. Time being, just think like it is the data source. So when you combine a template with data source, automatically Tosca will create all these test cases for us. I am repeating my sentences again. This is bit complex, I know. Okay. Template is nothing but it is like a whole thing, where you can find positive scenarios, negative scenarios all together. So this is like a skeleton, okay, which will tell us the structure of the test case basically. To this template, we need to add a data source. Data source is nothing but the source where we are passing the data. It can be of Excel sheet, it can be of a test sheet, which we will discuss later. Again, there are different types over there. So by using these two combinations, Tosca will automatically create all the number of test cases that we need. Is it clear till here, everybody?
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of. Yes, I understand. Because this is really difficult. And unless you complete 2 to 3 classes, you won't be able to understand this. It will be very confusing. Don't get scared. Okay?
Okay, Ravi.
So, now, one second. Yeah. So now, how do we create a template? What is a template? Template is like everything together. Now, take the same scenario. You want to validate the user login. So, here we have the positive test steps. If I want to accommodate negative also inside the same. So, what is the test steps that I need to add to this? Already I have open demo web shop, which is common across all the test cases. I have logins common across all the test cases. I also have user login verification. This is for the success one. For the
Here we have
others, I need to validate the error
a
messages.
message.
So that is one test step that I need to add in this place. Logout, which is present for only success but remaining don't have. Anyways, I completed that. Closing also I complete. So now only thing that I need to scan is the error messages. Okay. So before I go over there, let me test these things manually. So what I do is, yeah. So I just created one table here. Okay, so in this is like email ID and password and the message that you are going to get. So I created it manually by just going to the demo web shop. I will show you. This is the demo web shop login page. For suppose this is the invalid email ID that I have. So copy this invalid email ID and paste it here, and some invalid password I gave. So if both are invalid and I am saying to login, this is the error message I can see. Login was unsuccessful. Please correct the errors and try again. No customer account found. So the same error messages I have passed here. See, both are invalid. Then login was unsuccessful. Please correct the errors and try again. No customer account found. The same way, for suppose you are passing a valid mail ID only in this case, but a invalid password. So this is my valid mail ID and invalid password. So say login. See, the credentials provided are incorrect. See, the credentials provided are incorrect. So this table is what I have created, where this is my success message. Both I will pass as the valid details and then I will verify the email ID. That is fine. I am passing invalid mail ID, valid password, valid email ID, invalid password, both invalid, and then empty email ID and with valid password, valid email ID with empty password, and both empty. These are some I have taken. You can write as many as you want. Okay. So as part of these error messages, if you observe, see the first line is common for all the error messages. Login was unsuccessful. Please correct the errors and try again is the one that is actually common. Just give me one moment. Hello? Yeah, who is this? May I know who is this? Okay. Where are you calling from? Uh, okay. Can you call me back after 1 hour, please? Yeah. So the first message is the common one. Login was unsuccessful. Please correct the errors and try again is common. The second line is what is changing. See, here it is no customer account found. So for almost 4 scenarios, the no customer account found. And for the 2 scenarios, you have the credentials provided are incorrect. So these are the things that you need to scan. So now I have these 2 here. So let us first scan them. So go to this modules, do a shift, right click, scan HTML. Select the application. See select on screen. See, this is one. This is one. Here, the login was unsuccessful. Please correct the errors and try again. This is the credentials provided are incorrect. So I just selected that inner text and it became unique. I'm copying this inner text and pasting it over here so that we will understand. And now simply say finish and close this. Okay. And what is that one more thing that you need to scan? Yeah, when do we get that scenario? You will get it whenever you pass invalid email ID with valid password. So I'm passing some invalid email ID. Okay, let me just open login page afresh. Yes, and say login. So I got this, no customer account found. So simply scan it once again. So do a shift, right click, scan HTML. Select the application. Say select on screen. This message we already scanned. So don't try to scan once again, time waste. Scan this one, which is not there last time. And now just select the inner text and copy this inner text, paste it over here, say finish, and then close it. And now what I do is simply go cut this from this module and paste it in this module and delete this one. Okay. So now let us create one reusable test step block in order to validate the error messages. So validate login error messages and simply drag this module and drop it on this. And now for all three, just set the action mode to verify. visible equals to.
Visible equal to true. It's not.
Again, you need to select which one should be true, which one should not be. Am I correct?
Yes, yes.
So there is a choice here. Like you can either go for credentials provided are incorrect, or you can go for no customer account form. So that is the reason what I do is I'm creating the business parameters here. So simply select these attributes here, drag them and drop them. They will be automatically created. But one thing, don't ever have full stops or any special characters, and try to make these business parameters also short. So that is the reason I just made it as login was unsuccessful. This one, credentials provided are incorrect and no customer account form. I'm okay with this. So I just created them. Okay. One second. Okay. So now simply drag this reusable tester block and drop it down to your validation. So now this is like all positive negative scenarios have combined together. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
If I run, if I pass data and if I start running this, does this make any sense?
No, no.
No, Ravi, because the email ID and sort of valid email ID, valid password, all sort of things we need to
Yeah.
actually pass it.
We gave all things like these two steps are something which doesn't come in an order. Some test case will have this one, some test cases will have this one. So this is not something that is making sense. So how do we convert a test case into a template? First, by default, in order to create a template, you need to create a test case only. And we are not passing any data here yet. Simply, I just marked this test case work state as completed. And now I arranged my reusable test step blocks, that's all. And then right click on your test case. There is an option here, see, convert to template. When I convert a test case into template, you can see three main things. One is the icon of the test case will have T symbol in it. The properties will have data source related properties added, and also you cannot run a template. Let me show you. Now this is test case. I am getting run in scratchbook option, and you can also see here also this is enabled, right? Now I am converting it to template. See, the icon got a T icon, see, small T shaped one, and my run in scratchbook is disabled. If I right click also, I won't find run in scratchbook option, because now this has become template. This is no more a test case. You cannot execute a template because that doesn't make sense. It is having all positive negative test steps, everything together. Same way, if you look at a test case properties, for example, see something like this. Is business test case, is template, all these details are given. But if you look at template properties, you have additional properties like schema path, schema name. These two properties are very important. Schema path and schema name. These are nothing but what is the data source details of this template. We will continue this in tomorrow's session. Any questions? Any doubts till here?